A very good evening to you. Welcome to the station room on Milan 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Today is Monday, the 19th day of September 2022. The year is moving at a very crazy pace, and we've gotten into the Ember month, and you can almost say that the year is over. By October, November, December, you can always smell it that okay, there's going to be Christmas, there are going to be a lot of things going on. People moving into an apartment, people coming in just to make sure that they get size of commodities in the markets and so many other stuff like that. But it's okay in Nigeria. It looks like we found a way of surviving every situation we find ourselves. When the going is good, and by the time those festive periods come, you start wondering where all of these monies are coming from. Parks will be jam packed, sit out points. Everybody just wants to have a good time. It's Monday, like I said, and I trust he had a good weekend. Well, mine wasn't so much. Not so much arrest, but then they would always say that the show must go on. So we're back again to set the week on a very good note. And a lot has been happening. President of National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, on Wednesday on the show, and it was very clear on their decision this time around that there's a new leadership for the apex body that represents the interests of Nigerian students. They are in for the real deal, and they're not going to take it soft with the federal government, especially with the ASU strike, that is going on over 7 months now. It started off on the 14th of February, and it clocked 7 months exactly last week. That's the 14th day of September. It's really, that's almost a year. Just, how do I put it now? Is set up to kind of affect your mental strength in a way. Now, you got into school, for instance, to study maybe a 5-year course. To probably do your housemanship, or you have to go to law school. That's 8 years. And then maybe you got into school at maybe 25 or maybe 24. You're hoping that in 6 years you'll be outside that you can serve. And then also strike you that, you're over 30, you cannot, participate in the mandatory National Youth Service Corps service year, and you can't. So it denies you the opportunity to get employment anytime they request, pictures, this, sight and sound from the airport road blockage this morning from NANS. I spoke to, the population officer, and I think one of our news bulletins picked it up that flights had to be cancelled and rescheduled. It's as simple as that. I've seen a lot of, influential people getting into the mix. The immediate past president of the Nigerian Congress, Comrade Omoyele Sowore, was with the students today as well, and a lot of other people too. So I don't know the perception people would have towards all of these, but you may say that, the airport is not the federal government seat of power, is not this, but then you need to look for where, the people would feel the impact. Protests are rights of the people. You can't take that away from them. And I don't know, the reports I've been getting so far, a lot of credit needs to go to the members of officers and members of the Nigerian police force. They've actually been there to guide the protest. There's not been confrontation whatsoever, and that's the ideal situation. Protests are things you get to see every part of the world, but then the responsibility to continue to do that. If the federal government had refused to listen, or if they refuse to come to a compromise with ASU on the negotiation table, then everybody would have to feel it. The road users, everybody should put the pressure on the right places so that these people will go back to school. It's not your fault that your parents can afford to send you to private universities. So if you're choosing to going to school or getting formal education does not guarantee you that you're going to make it in life. It doesn't necessarily mean that it qualifies you to, get to the, it just gives you that mindset. It allows you to, open your mind. People in this country, a lot of people around the world that never got to the four walls of the university. A lot of, inventions were made by people that didn't have any formal education, but then it's a PhD holder. We just acquire all of those things. So it's an appeal to the federal government right now. ASU insists on all or nothing, and you can understand. There were agreements that have been reached for 13 years, for 11 years, and then people have decided not to, live up to their part of the bargain. So I mean, it's quite unfortunate. And just this afternoon, I read that the Imo State University had decided to pull out of the strike, and they said they don't have anything against ASU, said officially. So, back and forth. But we continue to support ASU. We continue to support Nigerian students. Yes, I know that the blockage today would constitute a lot of discomfort to many other people, but then you need to understand that the future of these young people is at stake, and they need to take it and, hold people responsible for all of this madness that is going on. That is just about it. Okay, once again, you can watch us live on all our social media platforms, on YouTube, on Twitter, but you can watch us live on our YouTube page and our Facebook page as well. So that in case you're wondering what does the back and forth often look like in the studio, that you can catch my guest today, Dr. Dayo Kayode. Today is Monday, and you always know that anytime he's in the studio, there's always something really exciting to look forward to. Doctor, good to have you join us today on the show.
Yeah, it's good to be here. After many weeks now?
Yeah,
about
2 weeks now.
Yes,
you said you're a political technocrat, so you had political commitment last week Monday,
yes,
and I trust you always do it very well.
Honestly speaking, to attend to all their questions. I say good afternoon, everybody.
Okay, good to have you back. So let's just go straight up into it. There's been a lot of issues back and forth, and the conversation around ASU, maybe before then, deciding not to go back to school. How does that even make you feel?
It's nothing other than the docility of government. Docility in terms of not attending to issues the way they are supposed to be attended to. Okay? And that thinking also negate what this government promised, bringing to the kind of kakistocratic thinking that is antithetical to modern way of governance. Imagine someone eating away the future of his family, and at the same time you are now saying members of that family should not talk, and that if they talk you are going to fight any member that should talk, or in a more simpler form, you are beating a child and you are asking that child not to cry, that as he's crying you are going to use razor blade to cut the face. This is ASU that is part of Nigeria, that voted you into power, that you have promised.
It's professors, members of the
professors, vice chancellors, and all that, ensured that you are being voted into power, and you are now using this power to subjugate them into oblivion. Where is that done? And they're now telling you, look, the way you are stepping on our toes is paining us. And you are saying because you are telling me is you are going to report them, that is taking them to court. Is it done? How can you imagine? I mean, sometimes I wonder what changes people when they get to government. Adamu, who is he? I don't know whether you understand. Is it if he had not been made a minister, he would have been on this other side. So what are you talking about? Is it now being used to work against the institution it belongs to?
Dr. Dayo Kayode, what does this tell about the quality of, or let me say the level of importance that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is paying to education? There's been a lot of conversation on the table, meetings set up by themselves. What does this say? How does this portray this administration? I mean, considering the fact that
something you don't have, you cannot value it. Something you don't have.
But the vice president is a professor.
But he has been brought underneath. He's a spare tire. that cannot talk. He cannot talk. Let the president travel out of this country today for
He's out. Both of them are out of the country.
Let him alone. Travel for another health tourism, and then leave Osinbajo there for about another 3 months that he normally spend when he's outside the country for health tourism, and then you will see whether this problem will be solved or not. When Buhari traveled out of the country the other time, look at the breath of fresh air, like Dandor will say, that came to Nigeria. Look at so many things that Baba supposed to have done, which he decided to pick up, and we are all here to tell the stories of what happened to Osinbajo along the line. Somebody who doesn't have a certificate, a educational certificate rather than NEPA certificate, will not be able to know what value it is to have an educational certificate.
Dr. Daokawadi, well, President upon his certificate, he presented.
I'm not saying he did not present his certificate. I say somebody who doesn't have as educational certificate that will fumble. Do you understand? And I will just say, who is that Opeyemi? Please leave Opeyemi. Let us put somebody else there. Why? Because I wouldn't understand where you are coming from. I wouldn't understand what it takes to be on that seat. But if it is on this one I'm sitting on, Opeyemi, you know yourself cannot beat me to it.
Of course.
So that is the analogy I will use to express what is on ground.
Okay. We'll get straight up into it. By the way, President Muhammadu Buhari did not go for health tourism this time around. He's attending the United Nations General Assembly, and of course, the Vice President is representing the country at when he was making the last respect. I saw it earlier in the day when he was making the last respect. But then, it's something that a lot of people need to sit back and ask. How much do we demand from our leaders? Maybe as we go into the election, we'll open the conversation the more in respect to what the demands and expectations are.
Let me talk about that expectations and demands from our leaders. You see, I will start from one particular listener who was querying me that why should I go and get myself involved in political activities. Let me put it this way. You see, political agitation without political participation will continually and perpetually leave the situation the way it is. The issue is this: we Nigerians, we are fond of bordel. Let us ask ourselves, to what extent have we been able to get ourselves involved in the process? Let me give you this example. Let's assume that you are living at Banana Island. Maybe you live at Banana Island and you're on your way down here. By the time you now get to somewhere like Fadeyi, this is because of that. Opeyemi, no matter the kind of love you have for that person, you will find it difficult to change your route. Because since last night, you have conditioned your mind as coming here and then be here by maybe 3 o'clock the previous night, and then decide to bring in his own program into yours. You will have been able to see how to get it accommodated. Are you with me? To what extent are we? For instance, look at ASU now. Look at ASU. To what extent is the leadership of ASU is when
a new government comes into
when a new government comes into office? Let me tell you this, please. Let us shy away from about candidature of anybody now. A particular presidential aspirant of a particular political party was in this Lagos last week to meet with LCCI.
That's Lagos Chambers.
So it's not pushing it at them. Come up with your ideas and let us flow together. Because as the president, yes, on how to have better industries, how to reduce our foreign exchange, how to improve on our FDI, how to get employment, how to this, how to that. Do you understand? So if that person now, if after giving that presidential candidate their own request, he will put it into his own agenda. And at the end of the day, you will see the two of them flowing together. So to what extent is ASUU, NMA, and others engaging these politicians?
Well, there was an invite.
I was at for a few people, few intelligentias in Lagos, and he said this thing that he did were being made up by some professionals, but he wants Lagosians, because he want Lagos to be ruled by Lagosians for the Lagosians. So he is now looking for Lagosians to add their own into it. And as to list, this your list, put it together, and then let us have you to come and address a particular committee. I mean, this is how to get involved. And at the end of the day, you will find out that all those inputs will be taken good, will be added. So not that when he has been elected, I will now come and say, Mr. Governor, you have not done this, you must do this. He will definitely tell me, these are the programs I promised the people.
Not this one you're just
bringing. Not this one you're just bringing in.
So who is supposed to do the reaching out? I know that the members of the Nigerian Bar Association at their last national conference invited the candidate of the four leading political parties.
Just giving examples. I know. I'm aware that even one of them that have been making noise all over the social did not even attend and all that. But let us leave that one. He knows how to sort his own issues. I trust them for that. But what I'm saying is this. Yes, some of them have been inviting them to get them engaged. But how about you and I? Where do we belong to? Have we been asking them questions? They go around when they say they are campaigning, they go on jamboree, not campaigning. And then when some of them, when they now see people like us trying to get them engaged on behalf of the people, because whatever we are engaging them on is going to be based on feedback. It's not right. Okay, adjust it. Do you understand? And when we are now engaging, they will now be saying, why are you getting yourself involved? Forgetting that Mandela was an activist. At the end of the war, Mahatma Gandhi, the same thing. Our brother in America, Du Bois, Martin Luther King Jr. and a lot of them, Malcolm X, we should move away from political agitation to political participation, so that the situation will not be continually perpetrated upon us.
Okay, very interesting opening, by the way. It looks like the program is just taking its due course, because you talked about involvement.
Yeah,
and one of the things that anywhere in the world, people spend huge amount of money to seek political offices to serve the people, and then you go to get loans at the banks, you sell your properties, you sell your family properties, you use your properties to collect loans and all of that, simply because you want to form 10 million for House of Representatives, because you want to serve the people. Now let's talk about monetization of Nigerian politics. I've listened to brilliant ideas. I've listened to young minds, individuals that you have a feeling that they're well positioned to take up leadership responsibilities, not necessarily at the presidential level, but they have
at various levels
something that is working against them, which is money.
Somebody like me, one has worked against me.
Every little space you fix yourself into, somebody is asking for something.
Yes,
you're making consultation.
Even your blood brother.
You're making consultation, somebody is asking you for money.
Yeah.
You're going to visit traditional rulers, they expect you to drop something. You're going to visit interest
groups.
You
even want them to come together, let us put our heads together to solve this problem. They will say, where is the money involved? What are you bringing? Which money are you bringing?
Dr. Daokawade, you've actually been involved with active politics.
Sure.
How does the monetization of Nigerian politics, how much has it cost us in terms of having credible minds, but with little or no resources, taking responsibilities in this country?
You see, are the losers for it. We are the losers for it. Because at the end of the day, these same people that you had collected money from, and then you are putting in positions of authority, will come out to tell you, Ogbeni, I have paid you for the work you did for me.
So I don't.
I don't owe you no jack. All right. It is the crumbles that you see that comes to you that you take, and when 4 years turns around again, they will still come back. The bread that we cook that will not last you for 2 days, 3 days, and when people like us are talking to them, they will say, Ogbeni, it is because you have money to eat. And we say no, we are all managing and packaging ourselves, trying to see if at the end of the day our behavioral pattern can influence others so as to be able to have credible, purposeful leaders at the helm of affairs.
So do you think it's a deliberate, attempt by the elite to make this impossible? Now, you talked about the Nigerian people being the losers. But on the other side, we make these demands. You want to get married and you're going to meet a local government chairman. You want to send your child to school, you're going to meet a local government chairman. You want to do this, you're going to meet a House of Assembly member. Are we not the one making these demands that is making it difficult for them to meet up?
Yes. You see, why you have to first of all ask, why should people even make such a demand? Is it like that?
Because they see politics as something lucrative.
Is it like that in better climes? No. And do you know the difference is here, because we have a lot of them up there that doesn't have anything to offer the people. The only thing they can do is to give them something that will keep their mouth shut. Unlike in better places like US, UK, Europe, everywhere, they will give them good education. In fact, feeding in those places is the cheapest thing you can think of. Feeding. And Yoruba will say, Tebi ba ti ton ninu ise bushe. That is the moment you have give them good health, everything. All right? But at that, it gives them good sense of belonging to nationhood. It makes them to hold on to it. This is my country. And whatever is going to take, we like here. They have taken away education from us. I mean, you see what is happening now. They have taken away good health from us. They have taken away virtually everything, so that everybody will become subjugated to their whims and caprices. Whatever they now say is what you follow, because whoever pays the piper
dictates the tune.
But forgetting that, like I was telling a particular governorship aspirant in this Lagos state, I said, I can assure you, if you can follow all these programs, your second term, you need not even leave your office to campaign. And don't be surprised, people will even go out that the constitution should be changed for you to even go for third term. So it is now left for the people to hold on to their representative to ensure that dividends of democracy is being given to them.
Dr. Akawade, I remember there was a certain, Monday edition we had like this, and you talked about the fact that we should change the narrative. Rather than waiting for what the politicians want to do for us, we should set the agenda for them.
Yes.
Now, how possible, how realistic is the talk of setting up agendas when you make demands? Is an issue of, I bought vote from your region, I paid to be voted for in Southwest. I know of a presidential candidate that once said that I don't hold a certain region development because I bought vote from you people. So how possible it is for us to set agenda for these individuals?
It is very possible. Let me tell you this.
But they literally feed us.
No, let me tell you this. There's a particular candidate in Lagos now, governorship candidate in this Lagos now, that is talking about new fresh of breath. I won't mention his name. Go and check him out. It is not about what he thinks he wants to come and do. Rather, what are the people saying they want him to come and do?
This sound like the typical political statement.
No, I am telling you this. I'm telling you this. I said I attended. I won't come here to lie. I can show you pictures.
I know.
And I can also show you the message I sent out as regards programs, expectations of the people. And I can also show you the reply that I should come and make a presentation to a particular committee of which he himself will sit down. And then we now look at the workability of all these things. Are you with me? The question now is this: how many of these our politicians are having such a confidence in the people that they are saying they want to come and serve? You don't understand. All they are doing is they just sit down in the corners of their bedroom and then write ABCD. Yes, housing. Yes, water. Yes, good road. Yes, that's all. But do they know whether that is? Listen, I was telling that man Adame, I said, look, do you know that if you do a proper analysis, you will find out that the demands, expectations from you by the people in maybe Lagos West is different from another like Lagos Central. The demands of people in Ifakojaye
it's different from
the ones in Ekpe and the one in Badagry. I said, are you aware? He was just looking at me, and the way he was looking innocently that this person is saying the truth. Do you get when you are conversing? Do you get? So what I'm saying is, people, whichever candidate you want to follow, don't follow blindly. Get closer. Let that candidate understand where you are coming from, your needs and aspirations. Talk to that candidate as a representative of the people, so that when he eventually gets there, you will have something to hold on to. Ogbeni, look, when you were campaigning, remember so place. You remember our discussion. You remember what you said. But where is it now? Do you understand? But without you getting them engaged, how do you hold on to them?
Dr. Kayode, if you say that because there's in quotes, the political class seems to have like they have a template of doing these things. Just wait, when the election cycle comes, you dangle carrots for the people, they grab it, and then you win your election, you get into political offices. And at the end of the day, you say we often suffer for it. What that means is that you don't get the right people that's got the right ideas to get into political office and fix the situation. More say that it looks like election in this country is an investment, and you get into office, you want to get your return on investment. Now, before we open the phone lines, now that we've established the fact that it looks like a deliberate attempt. Another, election season is coming, or is upon us already. But by the end of this month, the campaign will be lifted, the embargo of the campaign will be lifted, and political parties can openly engage the media houses, go around and make their manifestos known to the people. If this conversation begins, how can the people start asking the right questions beyond the rhetorics that we get to hear every
intention? It is because of the people's lackadaisical attitude to who governs them, to how they can hold on their leaders. Okay, let me tell you this: after election, people always go to sleep.
I mean, that's the end.
They don't get themselves. Do you understand? Let us go and do this. They will say they are busy doing what? Go and check them out. They are just somewhere.
They are busy doing nothing.
Whiling away the time. And when people like us are reading, thinking, coming up with different ideas and concepts day in, day out, moving without collecting a dime from one television house to another radio house, coming up with issues and for people to listen. Rather, instead of them to listen and join the crusade, they will still be abusing you. Okay? And these people, they know that the people they are leading, they have that I don't care attitude. Just throw one all these drinks, what do they call all these pelebe drinks, throw it at them, they will take it, and that's the end. It solves their problem. Give them 5,000, it solves their problem. Look at it now. The students had been at home for 7 months. Such a government, is it not even supposed to have resigned? It's in a better climate, it will have resigned, because it couldn't solve the problem. Insecurity resigned. And you still see some people, because of pecuniary gains, because of primordial thinking, they still say yes, it should be. Do you understand? In a normal climate, such a government is not even supposed to come into public space. Is it not appalling? Is it not, how do I put it now, a disgrace on our nation, for the future of Nigeria to be wasting away for over 7 months, and then they are now blocking international way? Do you know what we know? That what's wrong with these people? In the midst,
we'll still come back to this conversation, but the lines are really buzzing already. But then, in case you want to join us, or maybe you missed the information I gave out earlier, you can follow us on our YouTube platform at Mainland 98 at Mainland FM. So on studio line 0913600 0410. 0913600 0410 for calls and text message election. How much, what does money take from us when you vote for people because of 1,000 naira? I've covered a by-election in this country where people were given 300 naira to make them vote for a senatorial candidate. 300 naira.
That cannot buy Indomie.
I wasn't told. I covered that election. So you ask yourself again, it looks like the money bags are very raised. The Nigerian people get to feel the pain the most, and it literally denies us the opportunity of having individuals that can make things work. The phone lines are open 0913600 0410. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Let me start by saying that my name is Ambrose.
You're welcome.
How you doing?
I'm okay. Let me start by saying that when you are an analyst, you analyze according to the economy. When it is, you want to things that will
up to the end of